Hi, my name is Nick from Freedom Tackle. I'd like to welcome you to the Toronto Spring Boat and Fishing Show. We're here to tell you about our new product. We've developed a product we're called Freedom Live Action Hybrid Jigs. We've taken the jig concept that everyone's fished for 40 and 50 years, but we've allowed the angler now to remove the hook. The beauty behind this now is that the angler can customize their jigs for the size of hook, style, or brand that they want to use to tailor to their plastics. The benefits for having the hook removable is that hook now has free range of motion. That hook can swim sideways, up and down, allowing the bait to do what it was meant to do. Two other benefits that guys are raving about our product is that now that hook is flexible to move, it actually acts like a circle hook. So whatever way you set that hook's going to find meat in the fish's mouth. The next bonus that everyone's talking about is that fish no longer has leverage to throw that hook. This is our Hydra. This is basically our swim bait model, used for swim baits, paddle tails, anything that can throw action behind it in the water. Once again, our 1 ounce here, you can go from a 5/0 to an 8/0 to match the plastic that you would like to use. This is our Rogue. It's basically a football jig. As you can see with that internal connection, that bait now has nothing to restrict itself in the water. No weeds, no brush, nothing get caught up on it by having that internal connection. The beauty behind this now of having that brass capsule is that when you cast this and it traps air, it releases bubbles. Every time that jig hits the bottom, it's going to release bubbles all the way down. Here is our Zodiac, which is basically a ball jig. Once again, internal connection can change the hook for the style, the size you want to use with your plastic, your live bait, whatever you want to match it to. Once again, all these jigs, when you cast them, they release bubbles as it gets trapped, as you release it into the water. Once again, these guys are using this for the shaky head, bottom bouncing. As you can see, all our plastics sit up from the bottom, allowing that minnow, that worm, that leech to look like it's in its natural habitat. Here we are with our ball jig, our Zodiac. Once again, we're using a different presentation in behind it. We've taken the tube jig that everybody's used for many years, but now we've allowed you to add to the back of our jig. This allows the tube jig to sit up, not fall on its side like a normal tube jig would sit on the bottom on its side, but now allows it to float up, looking like that minnow is working its way feeding off the bottom. Here is our ball jig, our Zodiac. Another way of ringing it with live bait is they've run the stinger on with a hook to hold it in place. The beauty behind this now is that when that minnow comes down and sits at the bottom, it no longer sits like this trying to lift the bait off the ground. But because of all our jigs are weighted to land on their nose, that bait sits and that minnow can look like it's feeding off the bottom.